Welcome, students and YouTubers. This is part one, two-part series doing two-point perspective. So first we're going to start off, if you are the type to measure, we are measuring 3 inches from the bottom of our paper in the landscape format. I also like to call that widescreen TV. And that is our horizon line. And next we'll be adding 2 vanishing points, one on the left and one on the right. And I apologize for this staggering video quality. I tried to do this in my room with the equipment my school provided. So we'll see how this works. But the important thing is have it out there for those that want to learn and for those that are at home from COVID. We did about a 3-inch line. It doesn't really matter where. I usually try to have it slightly off center. In this case, it was to the left. Yeah, that's going to be this the corner of our building that we're about to start. And we're going to measure from the bottom, or draw a line rather, from the bottom on the left to the vanishing point on the left. And then we're going to do the same thing again with our vanishing point on the right. So from the vanishing point on the right to the center line. Always try to check twice. And then we're going to do the same thing on the top. So there's a lot of lather, rinse, repeat, if you get the metaphor. We're doing a lot of the similar things. So right now we have 2 long walls, or it looks like a diamond to most people. And the next thing you have to figure out to do is how wide or thick or the size of your building. So this can go anywhere you want, and here we go. So we're going to have that ruler right there. That looks about right, up and down. Then we're going to figure out how we want it on the other side. I switched pencils. If you didn't notice, I was using a very hard lead, which is going to give very light marks. I switched to this HB for those softer lead, darker marks. So we zoom in here, and that is the horizon line behind our building, but we're not Superman, and that's not a glass house, so we need to get rid of that line, so we're not going to be able to see it. All right, so those are called construction lines. We use to construct our objects. Very important. I know lots of students hate drawing them, then erasing them, but it really makes your work look way more accurate and proportional, and it really makes your work pop. So here we go. We're going to figure out another one. This time I drew it a little shorter, because remember, with perspective, objects get smaller the farther away they are. Okay, so we already have one line going back to the vanishing point on the left on the bottom. So now we're going to make a line on the top of that line. So the vanishing point on the left. I'm going to erase that horizon line and construction line. And that's how we kind of cheated to make a second building. It just popped right there. Just like in a lot of downtowns where buildings are connected. Pretty simple there. So now we have 2 buildings, and now we're going back over here, zoomed out. Let's say, I think what we're about to do is to put a alleyway or a street for traffic to go through, or superheroes to become superheroes in. So there's my big line. Gonna make it a slightly bigger building. Okay, checking out where I want it. It's important to double check. Straight line. And now we are going to measure, or I say measure, we need a straight edge. We're going to go from the bottom, going to the left vanishing point. So that creates a street there. So I wrote that in there to kind of help my students. See, that's the street. Okay, that's another building. But now we need to get the top of the building. Draw a line from the left and to the right. We'll figure out how wide we want our building. Now that building right now going to the left, the end is hidden behind the building, so you really can't see it. But this end is not. So we're going to draw a line here. And we're going to double check it. And then erase that horizon line. Remember, another name for horizon line is that's right, the viewer's eye level, or eye line. All right, so we're going to erase some construction lines again. So our little cityscapes are going to take shape here. I believe the student wanted to know how far that building was from the edge. So it's okay if you're one of those people. My wife is. All right, so we did aligned and then to the vanishing point on the right. Now we zoomed in here to figure out how wide we want our building. Erasing that construction line. You notice there's a little gap there, and right now I'm drawing a line from the top to the left because I am trying to make a small alleyway in between there, like a really tiny alleyway. I missed that line there, so I'm going to go back and correct my mistake. And should eventually erase that thing out. I did try to go through here and get rid of as many scenes as I could that froze, but I couldn't get all of them. So we're erasing another horizon line. There's a lot of erasing and a lot of checking, but it's going to pay off in the end. Now we're measuring, getting a straight edge to the vanishing point on the right. And then we're going to do one up and down, and there we made our building. I think I had to cut that section out. It got really jaggedy, but you get what we were doing because, like I said, it's over and over and over again. All right, so now we're going to make a skyscraper. You don't want to use a skyscraper right on that center corner because it's going to feel like one big building. So now we're sliding over to the left a little bit, and we're making one there. Then we're going to go from the top to the vanishing point on the right. Just a little bit, because we don't have to go all the way unless that's something that's going to help you. And so I just go down a little bit, and I go down a little bit on that side as well. And then we go straight down, figure out how wide we want it. So now we have a skyscraper behind that building. So the city's starting to get larger and farther away from us. Here we're going to do a sidewalk, so I'm measuring, sort of, getting a straight line from one to the other. You don't want to make it too wide there because then the buildings will look odd. So you want to be rather close, very thin, and then you're going to drop it down again just a hair. And that's going to be the width or how tall your curb is. And so that's roughly how we're going to do that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the left. And I think this is about all for part one. We're nearing the end. I know this wasn't the best video quality, but hopefully you did get a refresher from seeing this in class, or you picked something up from watching it for the first time. Always ask other artists and myself for help. So there we have it on the left side. So now I'm going to zoom in here. See that where it connects in the V? I'm going to darken in one area. And then apparently I'm going to move so you can't see it. I'm sorry about that. Oh, I see what we're doing. Sidewalk lines. Okay, on the right side of the building, they're going to point to you're going to use the left vanishing point to form them. And on the right side, you're going to on the left side, you're going to use the right vanishing point. All right, so it looks like I'm out of time here. Thanks for watching, and we'll pick up later. See ya.